Okay. Hey guys, hope you're doing well. We're gonna do something different today. First of all, this is the brand new Dreamstate Europe official anthem 2020. And I've been working on this. I've been streaming this already last week, and then I finished to work on the track. And what I'm gonna do today is not finishing the track, because surprise, surprise, this track is finished. What I'm gonna do today is I will be mastering my track, because that's something I never show you before, and you've been asking for this. What's my mastering chain and how it works, and then I'm gonna show you, and we're gonna master this track together, ready to deliver to the to the label, actually, and then the label will deliver it to Beatport and Discogs and Spotify and whatever. And so first of all, I'm gonna play a little bit more of this track. So if you are tuning in for the very first time, you can hear the track, and then I will start working on on what we call the boring stuff. And apart from that, I will be announcing the winner of this competition that we'll be running. It was for 2 VIP tickets to any of the Dream State around the world where I'm playing at. And what you needed to do was just giving me the title for this track. So finally today I've got the title and I've got the name of the winner. Let me play the track a little bit more now, and then we'll keep going with all the rest. There we go. Oh man, this part, this. Nice, nice. What do you think? It's got some nice parts, right? We got the, let me show you here. We got the intro. Funny thing is that I used to put the clap and the snare on the beat, on the drum, back in 1998, 7 also. It's so aggressive. I love it. Yeah, it's this one. But I'm using a LFO to side chain a little bit, otherwise it's gonna be like this. So I like with the side chain a little bit better. It's a little bit too much. Okay, so this is the track, and everything it's been recorded into Cubase, into my computer. So for example, if you see this track right here, see that? Okay, this is my Virus keyboard. That it was MIDI, and I have recorded this sound as an audio track into Cubase, so I can save everything and recall everything. And it sounds like this. And then, for example, I have this, which is the JP 8000. It's been recorded as an audio track. This one. It's just this one. Then of course you have more layers of leads from Icarus. anyway, before I forget, let me give you the title of this track. So if the guy is watching this, I mean the guy who gave us the title, because I asked you guys to give me a title for this one to win 2 VIP tickets to any Dreamstate event around the world. So if this guy is watching now, he's gonna recognize that I've picked up his title. And the title is Morpheus. Now, why Morpheus? Well, not because I'm just a huge fan of Matrix, the movie. But Morpheus, it's also associated to a god. It's a god associated with sleep and dreams. So I thought it would be a nice title, a nice idea for a Dreamstate Anthem. Why no? And you've seen this before, and the guy who gave us this title is this one, and Brachis. Don't know how you read this, but you can see it, right? So well done, mate. Well done. It's a nice title. So you've got 2 VIP tickets, one for you, one for your friend or girlfriend or whatever, your grandma, and to any Dreamstate event around the world. But just, I have to play at the event in order to get you in as a VIP. So you can check out my agenda, see where I'm next, see which Dreamstate you are close by. It might be this one in Europe, in Poland. It might be the one in Southern California. Just check it out, and then someone from my agency is gonna contact you, so you can give us all your details and everything. And well done. That's a good name. And now that you guys know who the winner is, you can either switch off this live streaming, or if you are interested in my boring stuff to see how I'm gonna do the mastering of this track, you can keep watching, and I will show you how I do. Okay, so back to the project. There we go. All this track needs to be, this. Okay, let me explain this. All this track are going to one single output, which is this one, the main output. Actually, it's this one. This is the main output. This is output 1 and 2. Now my sound card has 16 channels, which means 8 stereo buses. Okay, so right now everything is on one bus only, 1 and 2. It can be exported like this. It sounds brilliant, but I prefer to go my way because I think it's gonna. No, I did a few tests and it actually sounds better. It sounds better my way, of course. So let me show you this. This is the this is my studio setup. I have sound card from Motu. Let me bring this one to let's say 512. I have a Motu A16A interface, and it gives you, as I said before, 16 channels. There we go. So you can see these are my buses, bus 1, 2, 3, and 4, and so on. And every bus has the channel 1, 2, 3, and 4, and blah blah blah. So what I need to do now is to select the sounds that I want and spread them into 8 different buses. So this is how also you create the stems. This is actually how I create my stems as well for the live 3.0. Which means you send one, the drums to one bus to one output. You send the bass to another output, the lead to a different output, the piano, the pads. If you have a voice, you send it to another output, and then how do you put them together again? Well, I use some gear here, which I'm gonna show you in a second. I just need to switch this camera, which is why my GoPro today it was on the floor. There we go. Now you can see it. Yeah, you can see it. So first of all, I'm going to show you how I do assign all the different sounds to my outputs. But these outputs in the analog world are connected to this guy. Let me see. Okay, my cables are not long enough, so I can't really go closer than this. Anyway, as you can see, this is a Dangerous 2 bus, which is basically a very high quality mixer. It's called a summing box, but it's actually a mixer. Very simple mixer, but very high quality components into it. So what it does, it sums together all the 8 different buses. So if I assign say the kick drum to 1 and 2, it goes to 1 and 2. If I assign here the okay, hold on a second, the lead to 3 and 4, and then it actually goes to 3 and 4 right here. And when you put all them together, this is the master volume output. It gives a lot of headroom actually, so you can go crazy on the fader, on the volumes of each bus, and puts them together. And then I will show you what is next. So let me go back to this. There we go. Okay, this is how I normally do. I start with the kick drum. Okay, so this is my audio channel from the kick drum. There we go. The kick drum goes to stereo output 8. And I leave the kick drum on its own because it requires a lot. I mean, it takes a lot of energy in the mix, so I want to give a channel on its own. Then of course we also have this little kick roll, and this one, which also goes to bus number 8. Okay, and the bus number 8 is this one. Now, I'm not sure if you can see it. These are all green lights. This one is yellow because when it's green, it's in stereo mode. When it's yellow, it's in mono mode. So I definitely want to make sure the kick drum is mono. So I keep this channel, keep this bus as a mono. Then next, another thing that takes a lot of energy in the mix is the bass. So this is my bass, and the bass goes to number 7, output number 7. And since we are here, I'm gonna show you what's into this bass group. So first of all, I have the main bass line, which comes from Icarus 2. It's a really good one. And then we have the mid-range bass, which comes from Anna. Okay, and then we have the Virus keyboard, which I had to record as an audio track because it comes from my keyboard. With the sidechain already applied, and then I have this one which comes from Spire. And all together okay, so all the sounds are going to bass group, and the bass group is assigned to output, analog output number 7. Whew, okay, let's move on. Next is another very important thing is the lead. This is my lead group, which means this channel, this, and oh, this is just the control. So I have 3 different leads, okay, and all them 3 go to the lead bus, and the lead bus will assign this to 8 is the kick drum, 7 is the bass, 6 can be the lead. Now, what's in the lead? First of all, I need to keep the control on. Okay, again, this one is Icarus lead. Sounds like this. Okay, second one is again another instance of Icarus, and it sounds like this. Sounds like this. Jesus. And then, to spice things up, I have my real JP1000 keyboard, which has been recorded as an audio track, and it sounds like this. Alright, you put all them together, okay, cool. Let's move on. The drums. Drums are up here. So this is the group, the drums group, which means that, you know, the clap, open, hat. What's this? Don't remember. Oh, this is the closed. And the shaker and the ride. Everything goes to the drum bass, to the drum group, and the group channel goes to let's say bus number 5, because again we have the kick, the bass, the lead, and the drums on the 5, and the drums sound like this. If we go into details, I have this clap, the open hat, the closed hat, the shaker, and the ride. Cool? Cool. Okay. There we go. So next, another important sound that should be on its own is this kind of aggressive lead which I use for the intro and the outro. This one. Okay, so what we have here, it's again Anna doing the main sound, and then I have recorded the same sound to do this kind of stuff. you know, the way I achieve this sound from Anna, if I turn all off, it doesn't sound quite like that. There is a lot of plugins applied to this channel. And the main thing is Isotope Trash 2. Anyway, so we got to the Anna lead. This is the group, and the group goes to channel 4. Good, yeah. This is the next free channel. Good. Which you can also see from the mixer. Let me show you. Remember, this is, you know, the bus number 1, 2, 3, and 4. I have 8 buses. Okay, good. Next. Oh, well, I forgot about the drums. The epic drums. This takes again some energy, so I will assign this to the bus number 8, which is where the kick drum is. And since they don't play together, I think it's a good channel. It's a free channel, actually. Okay, right. Now, give me a second. Let's move on. The next thing you want to send to a separate bus are the pads and the strings. This. So this is the group where the supernova. Okay, well, let me assign this first. So we're going to assign the pad bus to number 3. So what we have here is this. I'll show you this one last time. It comes from Contact. Then what's this? It's just a teaser for the intro part. Okay, then we have some bass pad. Coming from Omnisphere, as well as this one. And then for the main part where the lead is, I've got something from my Supernova keyboard. So again, it's an audio track. Okay, so all them together go into the pad, bus, and again assigned to output number 3, bus number 3. What is next? Oh yeah, the piano. Okay, the piano. There are 2 kinds of pianos. First one, it's a real piano. Well, I mean, for real piano, I mean a plugin. It's a true piano. And it's Omnisphere again, and them together. Okay, and they go into this piano bus. We're gonna send the piano to group, not to group, sorry, to output number 2. Okay, so what is actually left, let me see, are all this, the effects, the, kind of the uplifter, downlifter, snare fills and stuff like that, like, like this. So I don't need to assign them to any bus because I leave them to output number 1. So I'm not gonna assign each one of those because they are already as a default to the stereo output number 1. So the number 1, it's gonna be for the effects and the snare rolls and the fills and the crush as well. Is this a crush? Oh, here we go. This is the crush. One thing I usually do, I apply a sidechain to the crush just a little bit. Why? I don't even know. Sounds better to me. But of course, it's just a matter of taste. Okay, now that it's clear, how I split all the different sounds through my 8 buses. Let me take the camera again. This one. Yep, let me switch. There we go. And so 8 buses there, 8 buses here. Now, this guy, as I said before, is gonna mix them together, and the output, and this is the volume, it's gonna be just left and right, 2 channels output. So 16 channels in, 2 channel outputs. It's a mixer, as I said before. What is next? Now, from the output of my Dangerous 2 bus, we go into the input of my API 2500, which is a compressor. It's a kind of aggressive compressor. It's most likely used for drums usually, but I like to be aggressive on my music, so I use it as a master bus compressor. And the settings for this track, well, you can't really see it, but basically I give very slow attack, the ratio, something like that, should be fine. What is it? It's 3, and then the release is not too fast, otherwise it's gonna be too much pumping, like, boom, boom, boom. So it's a melodic track. I will go with a slower release. This is too slow. Maybe something in the middle. I mean, I have to check. This is interesting. This is the way that the compressor stage picks up the signal in terms of frequencies. This gets the full signal. This is oh no, that's the one. Sorry, I'm messing up for you guys on purpose. No, I'm not. I'm just not bad. I mean, I'm just bad at explaining things. Anyway, long story short. I use the medium settings on the knee, the knee, and I keep the link together because I want to apply the same thing to both channels. Otherwise, I use the stereo image a little bit. I used to do this for the less melodic tracks, so I can get the best out of each channel, left and right, because it's like having 2 different compressor independently working on one channel and the other channel, so you can squeeze the left channel and squeeze the right channel as much as you want. But in this case, it's a lot of melody, a lot of pads, a lot of things going on, and it's trance music in the end. I don't want to lose much of stereo image, so I keep the link. After that, I'm gonna set the level first. Hold on a second. So what I do is I pick up the loudest part of the track, which is this. And after I picked up the loudest part, I'm gonna check the compressor. You don't wanna go crazy on it. You don't wanna overdo. So just a little bit of compression to keep things rolling. I need to switch this camera again, and then first of all I need to switch this and that. I will explain you why. Okay, this is the peak reset. Let me just play the track in loop. As I said before, this is the loudest part of the track, so I'm making sure the compression is good on this part. I'm not sure if you can see it, but the meter reduction, it's barely moving, and you can also see the flashing red light here. I'm compressing. I think I'm compressing a little bit too much already, so you don't want to really overdo with this, otherwise you kill your dynamic. But if you do it the right way, you get a lot of punch out of your kick drum. So let me do one more time. Okay, sounds good. So the reason why I'm using the medium settings on the knee, it's because I want the compressor to pick up mainly the kick drum. But if you go hard on the knee, you pick up too much kick drum, and then it's going to be too much punchy for this kind of track. If you go to the soft settings, it picks up the bass as well in a way which is a little bit too much. So it's kind of a compressing a little bit, in a wide spectrum, so it doesn't really brings up the kick drum. So for this track, the medium setting of the knee is the one that usually works better, for the busy trance tracks, at least for me, or for my taste. Now I'm gonna bring up the level, the gain output, because the output of my API, it goes into my Waves L2. This is the famous limiter, but it's the hardware version. So look at that. As soon as I bring up the volume, the output of my compressor, you will see the gain reduction going on here on the limiter. Again, you don't want to go crazy on the limiter. You don't want to go crazy on the L2, because the L2, it's kind of a very old machine. It's brilliant, but you need to handle with care. So if you get a little bit of reduction, it sounds great. If you go too much, it's going to be crap. Trust me. I've done this mistake before. So what is next? Next is... this one has got two outputs. The analog output goes into my sound card. Can you see it? Yeah. Okay. The digital output goes into my TC Electronics finalizer, which I used to use before as a mastering gear, but it wasn't that great. So I'm using this just to convert the digital output into a analog output to go back to my mixer, and so I can monitor and listen what I'm doing on the master section here. So this is just basically it's just a converter for now. It doesn't affect the sound. It just convert the digital output of my L2 into the analog world to go into my mixer so I can hear from the speakers. That's it. The analog output goes to my Motu, and from a Motu it goes back into Cubase, and I will show you how. So the final step is taking the input, output from L2, input of my Motu, and then USB, and it goes back to my Cubase. Let me switch to Cubase. I think it's all clear, maybe. So this is the track where I'm going to record, and if you see it, all the connections, if you see it, inputs, you're gonna see 3 and 4, because this is the analog input from my Motu 16A sound card that I'm using to record from my mastering section. I use 1 and 2 to record from my mixer. So if I'm playing the Supernova here, it goes into the Supernova channel. Then I solo the Supernova, I record, and I use input 1 and 2. But I'm recording from my mastering chain, and so I'm using analog 3 and 4. Yes, I need my glasses. 3 and 4. All right, okay, let's give a little test, see if it works. Okay, it works. That is the right channel. Now, before I forget, I found the best way, the best sounding way for some reason is to turn the L2, making the L2 working at 96 kilohertz. It doesn't really make much sense, to be honest, because my Motu works at 48 kilohertz. So I don't know if you are an engineer, or, maybe you can explain this to me, but I've been doing A/B test, and if I record at 48 kilohertz, sounds alright. But if I record at 96 kilohertz, sounds better. Now, what I'm gonna do now is playing the track from the beginning till the end, because I need to record this into that channel. Okay. Ready? Okay, awesome. Awesome. So now we have the almost finished, almost mastered track into Cubase, into my DAW. It sounds like this. So now, before export, I mean, this could be already good to go, but I want to do better. And before exporting this, I need to apply something else to this channel. So basically, what I normally do, I apply the low band EQ just to roll off the very unwanted 25 kilohertz, 30 kilohertz, if any. So just in case, I apply this one here. Then I have my Pro Q. It's kind of a standard settings because I know the way I hear things. And what is my setting? There we go. Okay, this is I split this EQ between the sides and the mids. So the mid is gonna be fine. I want to kill the sides down below, 100 hertz. So even a little bit more. To explain how it works, you can hear this. Can you hear it? But anyway, if you cannot, no worries. And this is what I usually do. Because again, I know how my mastering chain sounds. I always find that adding a little bit of 1 kilohertz, like a wide Q on 1 kilohertz, say just 1 dB, it's gonna make my track sounding better already. And then I don't think this time I need to add any high frequency, because the synth is already pretty bright. So I'm just gonna have a listen and do some minor adjustment here. I usually do this the day before when my ears are fresh, but I'm streaming now, so let me show you. Yes, just 1 dB here on the on the 1K. It's good enough to make the sound this track sounding better. Then I double check the stereo image. Just double checking it because I want to make sure again. Below 140 hertz is going to be mono, and from here I'm going to visualize if the stereo is going crazy, or if it's if it's too much, or if it's not enough. And in this case, this track sounds good already. Usually, if the stereo image is a little bit too much, I'm gonna I'm bringing down the bands down to mono a little bit to narrow the stereo image, the stereo field. Or if it's a little bit too much towards the mono, towards the center, I'm going to, bring it up. Let me show you. Well, that's crazy. Or vice versa. down to mono. So this track doesn't really need it, so I just leave it. I'll leave it on just to make sure, you know, the 140 hertz down are going to be mono anyway. Okay, next. As you can see, I'm not doing much here. It's just refining little things to make sure the final master is good to go. Next, it's gonna be my favorite limiter, because I have applied already a limiter in the analog world, but I want to make sure that when the track comes out of my computer, we have a limiter in the digital world. So just making sure, you know, to get the level right, I'm going to apply this, and I also have my, I usually use this setting here, transparent, and there we go. Again, the loudest part is what you want to hear when you apply a limiter. And it's really important, if you look at this, you want to leave it sound dynamic. You don't want to make a break, you know, of your track. You want to leave some dynamic, so when the kick kicks in, you can actually hear the difference. So there is plenty of dynamic left, and it's loud enough. You know, mastering engineer Bob Katz said that if everything is loud, then nothing is loud, because of course there is no difference. Indeed, you know, you have people going crazy on the limiter, squashing the hell out of the track, and I don't like that, because I want my tracks to sound a little bit more natural. So I'm limiting already quite a lot, and I think this is just enough. It's enough loud and enough dynamic left. Yeah, I definitely don't want to go louder than that. There's no need. If you want to listen to your music louder, then you can just turn up the volume. Okay, that's good. What you want to make sure is that the true peak limiting is on, and also I like to, you know, to lower the output to minus 0.2, even I will say even 0.3, just to make sure it doesn't get clips if you put this one on a CD. I mean, if you use a CD, you know, just making sure. And yeah, that's it. Oh, well, no, hold on. Wait a minute. My project is in 48 kilohertz. So we need to bring it down to 44.1 kilohertz. That's why I'm using the UV Viver as a very last plugin applied to my channel. And let's double check it. Check the final, the end of the track. Sounds good. Okay. Double, triple check. Sounds good. So next, I just export the file as it is, and this is my extended mix of the Dreamstate Europe 2020 official anthem, and it's called Morpheus. Tomorrow I'll be making the what it used to be called the radio edit, the shorter version for Spotify, Apple Music, and the streaming platforms, because the extended mix is for Beatport mainly, and for me to be played. Oh yeah, right. One last thing I forgot to mention. Since I've split all the sounds, through 8 different buses, I already have my stems ready for my live act. How? Well, if you see the mixer, let me bring the mixer into this. Oh, this is not the mixer. Sorry. This is the mixer. So if you see this, my 8 channels, my 8 buses. When the song, oh, come on, mate. Okay, when the song is full, they're gonna light up together. Pretty much. Okay, you see, I have all the sounds are separated, and what you do to create the stems, at least in Cubase, I don't know the other software. Again, this is Steinberg Cubase Pro 10. What you do is this: go here, export. You go to export multiple channels. You select the 8 buses. And then you perform the audio export. And what it does is creating 8 tracks. We all, 8 tracks we are corresponding to the 8 buses, and all the sounds are there. So I use those 8 files. When you put them together is the full track. So I use these 8 files to load them into my Live 3.0 setup. In this way, I have all the sounds separate, so I can cut down, I can turn down the kick drum, the bass, the lead, it's all separate, so I can act in every single sound. So I can turn down the lead and play the lead, or a different lead from the keyboard. I can turn down the drums, the kick drum, and play a breakbeat or any other drums from my TR-8. But we'll explain this later on. For now, that's it. So, congratulations again to, God, what was his name? I forgot. I don't remember. I'm sorry. And I lost the link. So, yeah, congratulations to the guy who gave me this, the title of this track, which is called Morpheus. And he's got 2 VIP tickets for a Dreamstate event all around the world, whenever, wherever he wants to go. And I will let you know when this track is gonna come out. So for now, it's done, and just send it to the Dreamstate guys, and it's going to be on Dreamstate recordings, just like last year. And I'll keep you informed. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know if you like this track, and that's it. Thank you very much. Bye bye.